I have a problem with someone, or rather something. Dear Abby's advice column makes me want to throw up a little bit in my mouth every time I read it. Just, just saying. Maybe you think I'm a heartless cretin for saying so. Maybe you love Dear Abby and her good advice, but I think it's crap. So, you know, lightly put. Let me give you an example why. In this paper it says, Dear Abby, what do you say to a person who never stops talking? A friend doesn't and I don't want to hurt her feelings. It has reached a point where I avoid her because her non-stop babbling irritates me. Abby, this woman has a heart of gold. She is generous and sweet, but her incessant chatter diminishes any good feelings I have for her. How can I politely let her know that her never-ending blather is getting on my nerves? Abby writes, Dear can't get a word in. Your friend is a compulsive talker. Duh. We got that settled already. She may do it out of insecurity or because the sound of silence makes her uncomfortable. Valid point. Okay. Where are you going with this? But hogging the conversation is rude. Again, doo-doo, Captain Obvious. And calling someone late in the evening after being told that person does not want to be called after a certain hour is also rude. Is she going on like a little personal rant here? Because did anyone hear anything about calling someone after a certain hour? I think maybe Dear Abby had gotten a phone call and she was in an irritable mood and decided to write about it, sneak some little covert stuff in there and complain to all of us about it. We don't want to hear about your little personal problems. Answer the daggone question, Abby. Daggone. Yes, it's rude, but that's not the point. Much as you might like to, she continues, I doubt anything you say politely will change her. So, accept her, warts and all, or move on. What kind of advice is that? Seriously. There's nothing that this person could say to her friend who has a heart of gold that will change her. What is so wrong with dealing with the issue rather than darting around the problem and possibly losing a friend with a heart of gold? I mean, either you accept her faults as she is or you move on, because you wouldn't want to have to hold anyone accountable for their actions. Oh no, we don't do that. That's unfriendly. There are hundreds of ways that you can deal with this issue. Now, Abby got off to a good start. She brought up some good points, and I love this when people deal with the why and not just the what. Sometimes we brush problems to the side because we're just dealing with the what and not necessarily the why. Abby starts to address the whys in here after she rambles a little bit in her little whatever. But she says possibly your friend might be insecure. Secondly, she might not like the sound of silence. It makes her uncomfortable. Because of these things, this is how I can deal with this problem. Instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna accept you as who you are," it sounds nice. But here's the deal: if you don't like an incessant talker and she gets on your nerves and she's your friend, think of the other people that can't stand her, that are not her friend, but that could be her friend, but they don't know how to be. Now, for some reason, thus far, you've held on to her for whatever reason. She's a good friend to you. Because she's a good friend to you, you owe her the service of telling her what the problem is. Because if you're her friend, you don't want to see her hurt by someone else. Now, would you rather have somebody come up to you and just be like, "You are just so annoying. I cannot. You get on my nerves." Blah 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 blah. That's not your friend. Would just come up to you and just tell you like it is. Because the enemy, they don't care. They would just tell it like it is. If you are getting on somebody's nerves and they don't like you, point blank, they're just gonna say, "You're dumb. Shut up." Do you want somebody to say that to your friend? No. So what you do as a friend, you come to her in love and explain to her what your feelings are. Because if you're feeling them, chances are other people are feeling the same thing. And because you care about this friend with this heart of gold, as you explained it, you would go to her and say, these are my feelings. And if she does have a heart of gold, she'll be willing to receive those things. It's point blank. The reason why you're avoiding this and the reason why it's not working out because you're afraid to hold somebody accountable for their actions. If you think it's rude, go to your friend and say, I think this is rude. And I know you don't mean it to be rude or dress it up however you think is appropriate. I don't know your friend, so I can't really tell you exactly what's going to work for her. But here's an example. You can sit down, be having a conversation. If you feel like you can't get a word in, then say, I have something to say about this. Would you mind listening for a while? Maybe that will solve the problem. Bam, done. If not, you can continue to talk about it. If she's one of those people who just likes to talk and talk and talk and talk about absolutely nothing and you don't have anything to say, you just want to be with your friend and hang out and not listen to incessant babbling or chatter, as you say, then say, hey, let's just enjoy the quietness of whatever. Or if you're taking a walk, hey, listen to these sounds. Or hey, let's listen to this song or whatever it is. Or maybe even think about dealing with these issues. If your friend is insecure, as Abby suggests, maybe find out if your friend likes talking, maybe talk about some of these things, these pressing issues that are making her insecure. Maybe reassure your friend who is insecure. There's lots of different ways you can go about it. You don't just accept people warts and all. Sometimes you have to deal with the warts.